All right, so that's the view. Looking at the future and what the markets could do for us. This is a very positive perspective coming in and just the kind of voice that you'd want to listen to right now. But as the end of the festive season nears, we're diving into what one could do with our money. Should we invest? Should we spend? These are big questions. The global economy is placed rather precariously, and we keep getting sound bites about how precariously we are currently poised when we talk about the global economy. The inflation picture is haunting us. The threat of recession looms large. But since the last Diwali, the Nifty has given us negative returns, and big names like Wipro and BPCL, they've tanked in this period. While there have been some positive aspects as well, we are trying to find out one should focus on savings or not. One should focus on investments. Is this the time to splurge because of all that pent-up demand because of those 2 years that have gone in the pandemic? Let's pose those questions to Amit Kukreja. And he's a financial advisor joining us as part of AmitKukreja.com. Great to have you with us, Amit. Because of these inflationary times, Amit, the ones that we live in, it would be prudent not to splurge this festive season. But there is a lot of that pent-up demand emerging as we are from the impact of the pandemic, like I was just saying. So how do you reckon one should balance the urge to splurge, as it were, and make wise investment decisions in a time like this?
Yeah. So you've rightly spotted the problem, and I think what we need is a delicate balance of the two. But listen, the good news is this is not happening for the first time. This is not the first recession in the world. This is not the highest ever inflation in the world for the first time. We have been through these cycles, and we know that a financial discipline of investing and a financial discipline of saving bails us out during these difficult times. There is, of course, a huge pent-up demand to splurge. There is, of course, the unfulfilled desire to go spend, do some shopping because we have received money. But if we can maintain a couple of things in mind, one, put some limits and also channelize your spending towards your self-care first and then on materialistic aspirations. So I can elaborate more on what I'm trying to say here. I would rather take your next question and get an opportunity to elaborate on that one.
It does make a lot of sense because in terms of the spends that you do in a time like this, you want to ensure that these are spends that do fetch you rewards in the long term, because this is the period where you want to be able to build your capital as well, and you want to kind of make sure that you're not spending too much, that your wallet is not going to suffer in the bargain. So a lot of times you hear about taking a home loan and things like that. Is this the right time to even do that when interest rates are rising? So when you're talking about spends and spending on things that will work out in the long term, what exactly are you suggesting, Amit?
Yeah. So when it comes to your expenses, I'm still suggesting that you continue your important expenses regularly on a monthly basis and take a subjective call on discretionary expenses. Now, important aspects, whether to have a home loan or not to have a home loan, I don't think these interest rate movements determine whether to take a home loan or not to take a home loan. It is purely a function of your desire whether to buy a house or not to buy a house. And if I'm buying a house, then am I availing the tax deduction that I'm getting? Having a home loan is always beneficial, especially if you are a high salaried executive and there is a tax deduction that you would like to avail, both you and spouse, if both of you are working. So having a home loan is a completely different decision, irrespective of the rising in home loan interest rates. However, when it comes to expenses, put your limits, put your important call outs that if this happens, I'm not going to go beyond this expenses. And if this happens, I'm going to stay within my budget of spending this much money. Even it comes to spending money, given the upcoming Diwali, we have to make sure that we have some ground rules in place. We are not splurging the money in food. We are not splurging the money in drinks, but we are splurging the money in giving it back to the society, taking care of our family members by giving them a good holiday resort or a holiday vacation as a gift rather than materialist basket of expensive gift items in it. And when it comes to investing, this is a wonderful opportunity of cost averaging. This is the time that we all have been waiting for. This is not the time to run away and get scared of the market. This is the time to put in more money and be more disciplined about investing so that when the market turns around, this creates an extra alpha for you in your portfolio. which
What
serves your
about,
financial goals better in the
yes.
future.
So, Amit, when you talk about investments and placing your money wisely in a time like this, when you're looking at the onset of a global recession where inflation is going to continue to remain high, where interest rates are going to keep rising in the medium term at least. So, in that kind of scenario, are there sectors? Because even when you look at several mutual funds, there are so many available in the market. There are so many products out there. How do you pick and choose in a time like this?
Sure. Very simple rules we need to establish when we are investing. One, let's pick up all the diversified funds which have delivered performance consistently in the past 5 years at least. If you have the data of 10-year performance, please use that. But if you don't have that data, use a 5-year performance data. Start with fixed income products, then get into large cap equity funds, then get into mid cap or multi cap categories of mutual funds, which have the opportunity of having zero cost or zero commission cost direct plans, we call them, which is giving you extra returns on your portfolio. Now, start with simple diversified products. But if you see that your financial goals have already been funded, and that's a very common observation these days in the metro, where senior and salaried executives have already taken care of their financial goals, which are going to come to them a few years later, then you can get into the PMS products or global diversification outside India, etc., etc. But start with diversified, risk mitigated, large cap, mid cap, multi cap exposure through mutual funds, and then get into a more specific stocks category or alternative investment fund category or specific real estate category after you have bought the house of your own.
So, Amit, one can't resist buying gold in a time like this, whether it's for Diwali or for weddings. What are your expectations on gold prices? How are they likely to move in the near term? And what will be the cues for people to buy gold if they have to or just want to?
Yeah, gold has always played an important role in our portfolios. Gold does a fantastic job of hedging our portfolio during the times of crisis. And we have had a couple of crisis situations in last 5 years where gold did a wonderful job of hedging your portfolio. So gold does have a significance in one's portfolio, but I see as the markets go through a bit of a temporary recession, I see that gold may hold its place for next couple of quarters. But once the things turn around with respect to economy, with respect to markets turn around, gold is going to lose its popularity because people will suddenly start to feel optimistic about the markets and about the overall economic situation. So maintain an exposure to gold, but no more than 10% in your portfolio would be my advice.
It's such a pleasure to get your perspective on this, and this is the kind of advice that you really need to listen to because times are so uncertain, and uncertainty is what rattles most of us because you don't know what products to choose and how to invest and how much to save and how much to spend, and that's exactly what we need guidance on. Amit, thanks very much for your views on this.
Thank you.